The Gauteng Health MEC Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko has confirmed that the Boskburg Tambo Memorial Hospital is fully operational. Millions of rand were spent on repairs of the facility, which was damaged when a gas tanker exploded on Christmas Eve nearby. Over 40 people, including some of the hospital staff, were killed in that blast, which is believed to have been caused by the truck, basically. It was a truck carrying gas, but the overhead section, the back part of the truck, scraped against the bridge, which then led to the explosion. We know now that the truck was traveling from KwaZulu-Natal, making its way to Botswana. The driver was arrested shortly thereafter, but then released, while the Tambo Hospital's accident emergency and radiology departments were damaged in the disaster. Let's get an update on the situation. We can speak now to the Gauteng Health MEC, Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko. A very good evening to you, MEC. Thankful for your time. So fully operational, does that mean every single inch of the hospital building is now safe for staff and patients?
Absolutely, every single inch it is. And we have received already people in the hospital. In fact, if I can just quickly count for you the areas that were affected. It was the general surgery department that is working. Accident and emergency unit, it's working too. Radiology, it's working. Orthopedic department, it's working. Ear, nose and throat department is working. Pediatric department is working. Ophthalmology department, which is dealing with the problems that are related to your eyes, it's working. High risk and low risk maternity, it's working. Internal medicine department, including all trauma cases that require theatre operations and intensive care, are working.
And how extensive was the damage, Doctor? I mean, MEC, some of us got a sense because there were videos online showing a ceiling that had caved in, some sections where there were chairs for patients had also been damaged. But overall, how widespread was it and how extensive?
Quite a number. It was very extensive because the whole accident emergency area was not operating. It was closed. All these areas that I'm counting to you, they were closed. We diverted the patients to other hospitals, neighboring hospitals, if you remember. So, but now we've even recalled all of them back, including the nursing staff that was in those hospitals, because we had to ask them now to operate at Telemorane, at Petrakowa, Tembisa, all the neighboring hospitals in Ekurhuleni. Some even using Charlotte Maxeke and Bara. So, but everybody now is back. So the damage was quite huge. In fact, if you can take rounds there, although now we've cleaned, you can see even the trees, the number of trees that have been cut. It shows that almost there is another corner to another corner on the other side of the building that you couldn't go and walk in that area.
Mm-hmm. And some of the workers who were on shift that morning on Christmas Eve were tragically killed in the impact of the explosion. Many of their colleagues were also undergoing treatment, as we understand it. People also suffering with trauma. So is the hospital well staffed across the various units, given the context I've just laid out?
Yes, at the moment we have some people now that are working, but we're busy with the department now, which is our Department of Health at the provincial office. We have already taken out some of the vacancies. Yeah, we have opened up some there are vacancies that are going to be filled by the staff, because remember some were specializing those staff that were affected, but we are dealing with that problem as we speak. There are people that are working that are assisting them, especially in the specialized area of the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if there are any of the hospital staff who may perhaps still be in hospital or unable to return to duty because of what they witnessed, the horror of that day?
We have 3 members that are still not at work as we speak, but the rest are back at work.
The cost of the refurbishment had been a topic for conversation earlier this year. There was a price tag of 18 million rand. I think you even questioned it at some point. How much has now been spent?
It's only 3.3 that has been spent for the work that I've said we have done.
How were you able to do it so quickly? Because unfortunately, government does not have the best reputation as far as finalizing what needs to be done, spending accordingly, and reopening a facility in basically a month since the explosion. You look at Charlotte Maxeke, for example, where there was a fire, we're still waiting in some areas.
In some of the interviews that I had at the beginning, of January, people were asking that question. And I told them that we are going to monitor this work. We had a task team that has been monitoring since the beginning of the work when it started to date, as we're handing over on the 27th to us, all the parts that were affected that we've done. But we'll still go back again there, because part of the work that we're supposed to do, which was part of those OHS, a work that is supposed to be done by the department, we will be doing it. But this one, we monitored it very tightly. We had a task team, the IT team, Department of Health in the province and the national department. So that task team was briefing me on a weekly basis. What is it that we've done and what is it that we have not done, and where are the bottlenecks, so that we can quickly ease up the problem. And now we are implementing that strategy that we've done at Charlotte Maxeke. You remember, I was still sitting at 98% to complete that building. But this team now is briefing me on a weekly basis to ensure that where are we in terms of the status of the work and what needs to be done. Because always, if you have done project management at school, your project cycle, you must always make follow-ups on it. Immediately when you see that you have stuck, because on a weekly basis you go and evaluate your work that you have done.
Right.
And if your project don't go according to your plans, you must know that there's something that you are missing. Then you must relook into your structure of your project.
When will Charlotte, while we're on the topic, be fully operational?
Charlotte will be fully operational, I'm sure, towards the end of this year, because there are other areas that we can't open because of the relationship that we must, which we are waiting for. There were some documents, let me start with that. There were some documents that delayed at Charlotte Maxeke, which municipality was supposed to give us so that we are able to do the work, which are the plans of the hospital. And it's not only Charlotte Maxeke, we have a problem even at Helen Joseph, because we are supposed to get the plans of that hospital. And it's creating another bottleneck, because we can't hand over a building at Helen Joseph that has been completed, because municipality says we must provide plans of that hospital. Same as Charlotte Maxeke, the issue of the plans delayed, but until it was resolved after some months. But the work is continuing now as we speak. The project managers are back on site. They are doing the work. We're sitting at 98% on the work that we've done. I know that there is an issue again of the parking. Part of the parking they are completing it, but another part they are still doing the work. So we are going to push and ensure that even Charlotte Maxeke is opened, because everybody is working there, yes, but we need that hospital. Those areas that we are unable to operate, we want them to operate on.
And there's 3.5 million rand that you say has been spent on refurbishments at Tambo Hospital affected by the explosion on Christmas Eve. Was all of that, from your understanding, spent within the guidelines of government processes, which I know can be quite frustrating, but has everything been done by the book?
Absolutely everything has been done by the book, without I've heard from the team. And if there's something that they've not done by the book, I'm sure we'll have to report back to yourselves, or you hear something that we'll do. But for me, I think everything was done by the book. It was quite an extensive work that they've done with that amount of money. And I'm happy we are all excited, but at least we can use money effectively, efficiently so, and relevant to the work that we are expected to do.
Gauteng Health MEC, Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko, thank you for your time.